Hello and a very good afternoon. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. It's 1 p.m. time for Verdict 2015 with me, Frank Pereira. Here are this afternoon's Verdict headlines. Polling underway for Phase 3 of elections in Bihar. Voters in 50 constituencies exercise their franchise, 27% voting till 12 noon. Big stakes for bigwigs. Top leaders from both alliances cast their votes. 808 candidates contesting in Phase 3 prestige battle for Lalu, his sons Tejasvi and Tej Pratap in the fray. And we throw the spotlight on North Bihar's Champaran district, where impoverished farmers are hoping to escape poverty as they prepare to vote in the fourth phase. Well, our top focus is the Bihar elections, where voting is underway for Phase 3. Voting is on for 50 constituencies with 808 candidates in the fray. 71 of these, I beg your pardon, are women. Now, the voting percentage till 12 noon is 27%, with long queues visible outside polling booths. 50 constituencies voting today are spread over 6 districts. The districts are Patna, Saran, Vaishali, Nalanda, Bhojpur and Buxar. The Election Commission has cut short the time for voting by 1 hour in as many as 10 constituencies. Polling in these constituencies will end at 4 p.m, while in the remaining 40 constituencies, it will end at 5 p.m. this evening. Well, voters are queuing up outside polling booths in Bihar for Phase 3 of elections. Let's listen in to what they had to say.
कोई भी पार्टी जीते इससे कोई मतलब नहीं है, बस वोट करना चाहिए, हम लोग का अधिकार है ये। जब तक आप वोट नहीं करेंगे तो आप बताएंगे कैसे, आप बोलिएगा कैसे कि हाँ ये सरकार ने नहीं किया या इसने नहीं किया।
नेता जो हमारे लिए सोचे, हमारे समाज के लिए सोचे, हमारे देश के लिए सोचे, हम उसी तरह के नेता और उसी पार्टी का हम वोट देंगे।
जो विकास करे, बेरोजगारी दूर करे, देश के बारे में सोचे, राज्य के बारे में सोचे, उसी को वोट देना है।
बिजली, पानी, ये सब की व्यवस्था होनी चाहिए बढ़िया से, और वाटर सप्लाई की व्यवस्था नहीं है। पहले से था व्यवस्था, वो सब रोड के नीचे चला गया।
बिजली का व्यवस्था में तो बहुत सुधार हुआ है, लेकिन शुद्ध पानी का अभी तक कोई व्यवस्था नहीं है। पानी टंकी यहाँ बना हुआ है, 4 साल से स्टाफ को पेमेंट दिया जा रहा है, लेकिन पानी सप्लाई नहीं हो रहा है। स्कूल में पढ़ाई हो नहीं रहा है, खाली टीचर को रख दिया गया है। उनका काम खाली बच्चा को खाना खिलाना है और बच्चा खाना खाता है, घर चला जाता है। पढ़ाई नहीं हो रहा है, किसी भी स्कूल में पढ़ाई नहीं हो रहा।
Well, joining me live from the ground right now is Kriti Mishra from Vaishali in Bihar. Kriti, give us a sense of the mood really on the ground in Bihar as the third phase of polling is going on. From the visuals on our screens, we can see that there are long serpentine queues, people queuing up to go and cast their franchise.
Absolutely, Frank. So the enthusiasm in the voters, that's palpable here. And if I can just request my camera person to pan the camera a bit and show you this huge line out here. And a very striking feature, of course, is the number of women voters who've just turned out, who've come out of their houses just to cast their franchise. Remember, in the first and the second phases, also the voter turnout as far as women were concerned, that was extremely impressive. This time around, we want, and of course, we expect that this figure should be more stupendous. So let's defy that notion where people used to say that women are just mere dummy voters, or they just vote and just press the button as their husbands ask them to. They have their own political consciousness. They have their own say. Over to you, Frank.
Indeed, and what are the kind of arrangements that have been made so as to ensure that, some of these voters are facilitated in the right manner, because these people have been queuing up for hours on to go and cast their vote?
Right, Frank. So I am right now in Vaishali district. This is Hajipur constituency, and this is Dora, the polling station that I am in. This is one of the model polling centers, and you can see all the arrangements are here just to facilitate the voters. You can see their chairs so that people just sit down comfortably and wait for their chance. There's one wheelchair for differently abled voters. There's facility, there's medical facility, there's clean drinking water. So, of course, the Election Commission and administration has tried its best to facilitate things for the voters. Over to you, Frank.
Indeed. And, thus far in the polls, the last 2 phases that we've seen that went to polls, They went on peacefully. No untoward incident reported in this particular phase as well. What is the kind of security arrangement that is in place to ensure that free and fair polling goes on?
Right, Frank. So elaborate security arrangements have been made. More than 1,107 companies of Central Paramilitary Forces, each company consisting of around 100 personnel, along with state corps, they are manning the grounds. They are managing the ground security. As far as sky is concerned, 5 helicopters and unmanned vehicles that we call drones, that is keeping vigil from the sky. In the riverine areas, 47 motorboats have been deployed. Over 3,000 micro observers are there. So all in all, we can say that the Election Commission has geared up to ensure that peaceful and fair elections take place. Over to you, Frank.
All right, Kriti Mishra, do stay with us. I'm going to come back to you in just a bit for another reaction from you. In the meantime, of course, let's bring in our guest into the picture. We have with us Amarnath Tiwari, Assistant Editor of The Hindu. Amarnath, very good afternoon. Thank you for joining me on the program. How do you see the third phase of polling up until 12 noon, 27% voter turnout? Again, it's a very high voter turnout as far as women are concerned. I'm saying this not because we've got any numbers as such at present, but just looking at the serpentine queues in front of us, the visuals in front of us, it looks like women have again turned up in huge numbers to go and cast their franchise.
Yeah, you are very right, Frank, that this time also, like the first 2 phases which have gone earlier, in third phase also the women voters have come out from their houses in great numbers to cast their vote. But interestingly, both the parties, both the blocs of BJP-led NDA and Nitish and Lalu-led the Grand Alliance, they have been claiming that the women voters are exercising their franchise, voting for them. BJP is saying that it's because against law and order situation which have been very bad in the state, so the women voters have come out to vote for them. And Nitish Kumar said that's just because the women empowerment that his government had done for them, the women are coming in to vote for them. So both the blocs of the parties, they are claiming the women voters as their own.
That's true. Women voters, both the blocs are claiming women voters as their own. But there was something very interesting that Kriti Mishra brought up, and that's something that I want to ask you too. She said that women voters are no longer dummy voters and they have a mind of their own now and are ensuring that they go and exercise their mind and exercise what is rightfully theirs. Do you agree with that assessment?
Oh, sure. The things have changed from the last 2015 or 2014 or 2010 assembly elections. Women are coming in huge number and they vote as per their, especially in urban areas. They are voting as per their choice for the candidates, for the political parties and all. But in rural areas, I do have my doubts that they are exercising their vote on their own. They are still being influenced by the male partners in the house.
And like you said, you spoke about urban voters. Today is extremely crucial because there are several urban seats that are going to polls and that are in fact polling right now as we even speak. So who stands to benefit or lose the most in this particular phase of polling? Would you say that it is extremely crucial for the NDA?
Yes, very much. This third phase is very much crucial for the BJP especially because, for the BJP, most of the seats in 2014 Lok Sabha seats, they have owned from these regions. From Patna, Saran, Bhojpur and Buxar districts. There are 2 districts, Nalanda and Vaishali, where the Grand Alliance, Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad, they have much more stake in these 2 districts. But for BJP, it's just make or mar round of poll.
27% up until 12 noon, and it looks like that percentage is going to go up as well. A serious pat on the back as far as the Election Commission is concerned because they have done everything possible to ensure that polling goes on smoothly in Bihar.
Definitely. Unlike earlier elections, this time there has not been even a single report of any untoward incident from any part of the state during the poll. It's going on very peaceful way. It's going on very smoothly. Just because of the elaborate and the unprecedented security arrangements done by the Election Commission. All the booths, all the polling booths have been manned by Central Paramilitary Forces and there are cameras and, drones have been placed into service, air surveillance are there. So everything has been done for the smooth polling and it's going on very smoothly, peacefully.
All right, Amarnath, do stay with us. I'm going to come back to you for another reaction on the other side of this break. But let's quickly go across to Kriti as well and get a reaction from her. Kriti, before I slip into a break, I have one final reaction from you. There are several bigwigs in the fray in this particular phase of polling, and two of them probably would be the sons of, two of the biggest ones would be the sons of Lalu Prasad Yadav.
Absolutely, absolutely, Frank. I'm so sorry. This place, Vaishali, the district that I am right now, that has become the cynosure of all eyes because sons of Lalu Prasad Yadav, they are contesting here. That's the electoral debut. That would also be the genesis of their political careers and their political lives. In 2014 also, he tried to get his daughter Misa Bharti, but that was an unsuccessful attempt. And after he got convicted in the fodder scam, many said that it was survival. It was his existential crisis for Lalu Prasad Yadav. So he had no choice but to ally with Nitish Kumar. So of course, as far as RJD is concerned, it is going to be the litmus test for this party. Over to you, Frank.
All right, Kriti, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for joining us there with those details on the ground in Bihar. On that note, of course, we'll slip into a short break, but we'll continue this discussion and take it forward on the other side with our guest Amarnath. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The biggest meet of the century. Leaders of 54 nations setting a common course for the future. Debating the mantra of scale, speed and skill. Watch Africa Demystified at the India-Africa Forum Summit 2015, October 23rd to 30th, daily 5 to 6 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, it's nothing short of a prestige battle for the RJD in this phase as two of Lalu Yadav's sons are in the fray. Here's what the RJD's first family had to say about the elections.
पूरा महागठबंधन बिहार के पांचों चरण में स्वीप कर रहा है जी। इसमें भाजपा खास करके नरेंद्र मोदी जी लगातार कमल कार्ड खेल रहे हैं।
In my constituency, BJP didn't got any of the candidates against me. Not a perfect candidate. So they have taken a JDU's MLA for the last time, and they have taken it them.
फर्स्ट और सेकंड फेज के जो चुनाव हुए उसमें भी महागठबंधन बहुत अच्छी जीत हासिल कर रही है। 81 में से हम लोग करीब 60 से 65 सीटें जीत रहे हैं और ये कोई हम अपने तरफ से नहीं कह रहे हैं। ये बीजेपी का एक इंटरनल सर्वे भी जो चल रहा था उसमें दिखाएगा कि महागठबंधन उनसे कहीं ज्यादा आगे है। और आज थर्ड फेज की वोटिंग हो रही है, इसमें भी महागठबंधन एनडीए गठबंधन से आगे रहेगा और हम जीत के लिए पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त हैं।
Well, still with me on the program right now is the Assistant Editor of The Hindu, Amarnath Tiwari. Amarnath, as far as the RJD is concerned, and particularly Lalu Prasad, his two sons are making their political debut today. A lot at stake as far as the family is concerned.
Yeah, you are right, Frank. I mean, it's not for the party, but for the family also, for the Lalu's family political survival. It's very important to win these two seats. I mean, these elections, both of his sons, Tej Pratap and Tejasvi, are contesting from Raghopur and Mahua Assembly constituency in Vaishali district. I mean, Lalu has been, even his wife, Rabri Devi, who has earlier represented is one of the seat of Raghopur, from where their younger son, Tejasvi Yadav is contesting. They have been doing a lot of groundwork and they have been campaigning very hard, pushing very hard to just wrest these two seats for both of sons. I mean, it's very quite important for the family's political survival also.
Indeed, it is a big step or a big day for the sons of Lalu Prasad. But tell us something about the constituencies as such. Raghopur and Mahua, of course, they are strongholds of the RJD. But I don't think they won it in the previous election.
No, in 2010 assembly election, JDU candidate from Raghopur, Satish Yadav, has won the election, defeating Rabri Devi. And in Mahua assembly constituency, where the elder son, Tej Pratap, is contesting, at that time, JDU candidate Ravinder Rai, who later rebelled against Nitish Kumar and quit the party to join HUM of Jitan Ram Manji, he is contesting against Tej Pratap. in Mahua constituency. I mean, these two constituencies are the Yadav-dominated constituencies, and both the sons are pitted against the Yadav candidates of different political parties. Satish Yadav has defected JDU and joined BJP, and he is contesting against Tejasvi Pratap as a BJP candidate. I mean, the BJP was earlier hoping that pitting Satish Yadav against Tejasvi Yadav will be like Ram Kripal Yadav, who earlier had contested against Misha Bharti and won the election from Patliputra Lok Sabha constituency. They are hoping onto that, but the situation, ground reality is something different this time altogether. I mean, both our sons appear to be, they have some smooth sailing out there in both these constituencies.
All right, smooth sailing as far as the sons are concerned. We'll just have to wait for a few more days, precisely 12 days to know exactly what has happened there. But, who are the other bigwigs in the fray in the third phase?
There are some, like a minister of JDU, Shyam Rajak is contesting from Fulbari Sharif constituency. Even the heavyweight, strongman RJD MP, Prabhunath Singh, his son is also contesting from Chhapra, Randhir Singh. So there are some people, heavyweights of from the parties they are contesting, but not as such as they can make a news.
Okay. All right, Amarnath Tiwari, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program and putting things into perspective for us and sharing your views and expertise on this subject. Moving on now, of course, a look at how the other contenders are reacting as votes are being cast for this crucial phase.
मैंने अपना वोट डाल दिया है और वोट डालने के लिए हम यहाँ आए हैं और वोट डालने के बाद हम आगे के चुनाव प्रचार में निकल रहे हैं। सभी मतदाताओं को अपना वोट
पूरे बिहार में बदलाव की जबरदस्त लहर चल रही है। बिहार की जनता इस बार जात पात से ऊपर उठकर बिहार के विकास के लिए आगे आ रही है। इस चुनाव का मैं स्वयं बहुत सघन प्रचार कर रहा हूं। एक बात साफ दिखाई पड़ रही है कि इस बार लोग नरेंद्र मोदी जी के साथ चलना चाहते हैं बिहार के विकास के लिए।
प्रथम और द्वितीय चरण था, उसमें हम 2/3 की बहुमत से हमारा लीड है और ये तीसरे चरण में मेरा विश्वास है कि ये 3/4 की बहुमत तक जाएगा और हर हालत में बिहार में सरकार बनाएंगे। ममता जी आ जाएं, अरविंद केजरीवाल आ जाएं, कोई अपील कर, इनकी अपील का कोई असर नहीं पड़ने वाला है।
बिहार का चुनाव बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट चुनाव है देश के लिए। नफरत और मोहब्बत के बीच की लड़ाई है, सेक्युलरिज्म और कम्युनलिज्म के बीच की लड़ाई है, नरेंद्र मोदी जी और नीतीश कुमार के बीच की लड़ाई है। बिहार अपना फैसला सुनाएगा और हमें पूरा भरोसा है मोहब्बत की जीत होगी।
It's time for a short break now, but much more lined up for you on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to Indian Standard Time. I'm Siddharth Vardarajan on the forthcoming India-Africa Forum Summit.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of State of the Economy.
India and Africa are very, very, very similar. Call them Siamese twins.
The building of the first railway was built with the help from India.
Egypt is the largest African trade partner to India.
The themes of the summit: food security, agriculture, technology, infrastructure.
Total aggression against
Watch our experts engage representatives of African nations in India-Africa Summit Forum 2015 on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, modern-day Champaran is divided into East and West districts. West Champaran has 9 assembly seats. In the last assembly elections, the NDA won 4 seats while the JDU took 2. Let's take a look at what are the major issues here.
North Bihar's Champaran district is where India discovered the might of Satyagrah. That was in 1917 when Mahatma Gandhi led impoverished farmers who were forced to cultivate indigo instead of food.
आज स्थिति ये है कि जो किसानों के लिए उन्होंने सुविधाएं उपलब्ध किया तो उसमें आज देखिए हम लोग यहाँ गन्ने की खेती बड़े अच्छे ढंग से होती थी। यहाँ पर 7-8 शुगर फैक्ट्री थे बंद हो, हमारे जिले के सारे शुगर फैक्ट्री बंद हो गए, एक सुगौली किसी तरह से चलता है।
The state was split into East and West Champaran 44 years ago. But in the race for development, both districts are equally lagging behind. In modern India as well, Champaran's farmers, it seems, are unable to escape poverty.
दूर भाग रहे हैं, धीरे धीरे बाहर जाके अपना कमाना, खेती छोड़ रहे हैं, बहुत सा खेत परित भी रह जाता है। हम भी तो छोड़ने वाले हैं, समझिए कि अबर भर है, बाकी छोड़ ही देंगे।
हम लोग के बच्चों के धान में कोई वृद्धि नहीं है, न पानी है, न खाद है, सब चीज़ महंगे है। अब क्या करें, हम लोग मजबूर हो रहे हैं, इसलिए नहीं धान फूट रहा है पानी के कारण। अब हम लोग की हिम्मत हार रहा है।
Amid the struggle to acquire prosperity, farmers of Champaran will be voting in the fourth phase on 1st of November. A combined 10 lakh population of both districts will be hoping their vote will be for the development and growth. Ravinder Shoran's report from Champaran for Rajya Sabha TV.
Once famous for its sugar mills in the country, North Bihar now remains marginalized after the shutting down of its mills. Due to the shutdown and inadequate financial aid to restore the mills, farmers and labourers are forced to migrate to look for jobs. Here's a report.
Siwan and Gopalganj districts in North Bihar were once known as the sugar belts of the state. Being agroclimatically suitable for producing good quality sugarcane with minimum inputs, 6 sugar mills were set up by the British. Sugarcane was a main source of income for farmers back then. But with the shutting down of a large number of sugar mills, due to old and obsolete equipment and inadequate skills in the area, farming of sugarcane is also proving to be a mammoth task for farmers.
किसान त्राहिमाम कर रहा है, चूँकि हम लोग के यहाँ गन्ना बेचकर अपने बच्चों की पढ़ाई लिखाई, बेटियों की शादी हम लोग कर लेते थे, लेकिन आमदनी का स्रोत समाप्त हो गया। मुख्य समस्या है कि कम से कम जहाँ 3 चीनी मिल चलती थी, 1 चीनी मिल का अगर यहाँ शुभारंभ हो जाए, किसानों के घरों में खुशहाली आ जाएगी।
Very few sugar mills operate in the area these days, incurring heavy losses. Despite agriculture being their primary source of livelihood, most of the farmers have stopped sugarcane farming. While the state government has provided financial aid for the restoration of sugar mills, little has been achieved on the ground. Losing hope of any revival, the farmers are switching over to alternate methods of farming. Due to lack of money and limited farming knowledge, acres of land is turning barren. Of the total cultivable area of 54 lakh hectares in the state, sugarcane cultivation covers only 4.41% area.
सरकार की इच्छा शक्ति की कमी, सरकार में बैठे हुए लोगों के पास संवेदनशीलता की कमी, उनके पास क्षेत्र के विकास और बिहार को इस सुंदर बिहार बनाने के नक्शे की कमी, इस बिहार को इस विदेश के मानचित्र पे एक अच्छा जगह दिलाने की सोच की कमी, बहुत सारी कमियां रही हैं जिसके वजह से आज इतने उदासीन हैं।
यहाँ के चीनी मिल बहुत सारे बंद हो गए। पुराना टेक्नोलॉजी था, कोऑपरेटिव मूवमेंट भी यहाँ ध्वस्त हो चुका था, नए सीड्स, फर्टिलाइजर्स और जो किसान थे, जो लागत होता है, इनपुट कॉस्ट्स, वो धीरे धीरे उनके पास जब कमी आई, तो गन्ने का खेती जो है वो हाई इनपुट फार्मिंग है।
Locals say not much has been done by political parties for their development.
डीजल महंगा मिल रहा है, अब जानते हैं कि अनुदान किसान जो भी है डीजल लाने जाता है, नहीं डीजल लाने गया, हड़बड़ में गया, रसीद नहीं लिया, मिलता है पैसा, वो मिल नहीं पाता है।
The largest agro-based industry in Bihar, the sugar industry, once generated sizable employment, but people now migrate to other states in search of employment. Going to polls on November 1st, the residents hope for the revival of the sugar industry that will become a wealth and employment generator for them. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's it on this edition of Verdict 2015. Have a good day.